Hey everyone, it's Sabrina and I'm excited to do an update for my book journal. I'm going to do April and May, and so I hope you guys enjoy this. I know it's a little bit of a longer process video, but I just love making these pages and I feel like I've come up with a great formula. So this is my April page. I had a few digital things that I had printed, so I'm just going to use up those. They have the same color scheme. I probably had this in mind and then put it away and forgot about it. So these pieces are going to work perfect for April, and one of the pieces says bookworm, and then another one is a journaling card that has a quote. Decided to use some gray star washi underneath bookmark, and I also used my Studio Calico book-themed stamp set to stamp Get Lost in a Book, and I read past my bedtime. I'm also going to stamp A Good Book is Always in Hand, and then of course I stamp my number of books read, and it was wrong, so later on I will fix that. I didn't realize it until later. And I used another piece of washi to connect the two pages. Okay, so I am moving on to April books, which was a great book month. It was 9 books. I'm going to use green, orange, and blue for my washi strips, and I have printed my photos very, very small. I can't even remember how small, but they went even smaller this month, and that's okay. So I have a large washi that's green up at the top, and then a skinnier one right there. And then for this month, I picked not necessarily my favorite book, but more like the book that surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. And it probably had to do with the setting. Much Ado About You is set in, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget the town, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in England, and it's a coastal town, and it was just a wonderful love story. A Woman is No Man is a book I read for Reading with Heba, and that was an incredibly powerful book, and I really loved it. And then The Girls I've Been, that is another book that was really cool. It was a thriller, totally different type of book, and I heard it might become a movie, so that'd be really cool. So lots of great books this month. Oh, and one other book I should mention is A Place to Hang the Moon. It's a children's book, a World War II historical fiction book, and it's just extraordinary. It's about a group of kids who needs a place to stay during the bombing of London. And so it's just a wonderful story of how they find their home. So I wrote out a quote for Much Ado About You, and then now I am drawing the 4 different boxes that I need. I have the pages box, and then the box next to that is just a box I pick to put some sort of random statistic. Usually I do a lot of research to try to figure it out, but this month I am going to come up with some funny one and just make one up because I wanted to make sure that I finished the pages and not wait for myself to finish the research. I didn't want to wait. So I have the 2 boxes, and then I put the washi to separate them, and then I put in my genres, which was historical, feminism, music, British lit, mystery, relationships, and adult. So a wide range of genres, and I'm totally okay with that. Like that Echo book, that's a book about music and how it ties together 3 different stories. And my mother-in-law actually recommended that, and it was a really good book. So I am stamping April so that way I can write the days that I read these books from. And then I will also use that same calendar stamp set from Everyday Explorers to stamp the number of pages. So 2,875. So that's pretty high for me, and so it was a pretty great month. That's why I said it was a good month. And I read 4 on Kindle and 5 on paper. And then now I am just looking at my iPad to check the days that I was reading these books, filling those in with my pen, and then I'm almost done with this spread. So there we go. That one is done. I'm going to move on to May. But first, I'm going to go back and stamp that 9 so that way I can fix that. It's not going to cover the 8 completely, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So I cut it out as best as I can and then put it down. And then I had one more little leftover printable that I had. Every book is an adventure. And then I will go to Building May. May was not a great book month. I don't know. I had Week in the Life, which of course I don't do anything but document Week in the Life. And then there was just a few other books that I just did not make the time to read, and I was just slogging through them, for lack of a better word. So, but I am going to make a really colorful intro page. I have some more printables lost in the stacks, and then that girl holding a stack of books. I think that's a really old In a Creative Bubble printable. Gonna stamp an open book and use a bunch of different colors. Also want to use this fun font that's in an older Feed Your Craft book stamp set that says currently. So I'm going to put currently and then reading. And then on the other side, I want to continue that with the same font. And I'm going to put one more chapter. And then I will stamp the number of books. Also going to add in a few little hearts just to add a little extra something. And the number of books this month was only 6. That is really low for me. And because I usually average between 7, 8, 9. So yeah, 6 is low. And like I said, it was hard reading some of these books. Stamped in yellow, and the stamp was dirty, so it didn't look great. So I stamped over with the green ink and then stamped out books. And now I'm going to move on to the actual monthly spread. So once again, I didn't pick the book that, I don't know, I think this was my favorite book, but this was the book that totally surprised me. I had just finished, I think, Siege and Storm, and that was the book I read during Week in the Life, and it was really hard to get through. I just didn't have time, and it was just hard to get through. But then I picked up Every Single Lie, and it's a totally different premise from anything I've read recently, and I flew through it. I'm actually going to check out the book again so that way I can get the quote, because I was looking for quotes from this book and I couldn't find any online. I thought I had taken some pictures of my own quotes, but I guess I didn't. So the quote is not going to be filled in this month, and that's okay. I'm just going to check out the book again and then I can fill it in. Drawing in these boxes, and I'm getting better. This month, or for this page, I used a Papermate Flare pen, which works a lot better. I seem to kill the micron really pointy tips very easily. I don't know if I push too hard or what, but I just kill those pens so easily. I had some extra room at the bottom, so I added some extra washi down at the bottom. I love these colors together. It's like cobalt and blue and then like a salmon pink, I want to say. So I put in the pages, Kindle, and then paper, and then I'm just arranging my books. And funny enough, most of my books had pink and blue, a lot of blue. So I'm just arranging them in the order. I think these books wound up being a little bit bigger because I had so few this month, and I also was able to add a little cluster of washi and stamping down at the bottom right. So I'll do that in a little bit. The genres this time is middle grade, another World War II, mental health, realistic, New York, and then high fantasy. And again, using a different pen because I did not want to use anything that was micron, super pointy tip, because I killed 2 pens while making this video. Wrote out my list of books, and then I'm going to use another open face book. So sometimes with the scrapbook.com ink, you get a messy stamp image and then it's not clean and it doesn't work. So you have to try to clean it with black ink. If that still doesn't work, then you just have to use a different type of ink. Seems like the scrapbook.com inks are pretty fussy, especially the light colored ones. You got to make sure your stamps are clean, otherwise the image is not going to be clean. So just a little tip there, because that's what I was doing on my scratch paper. Okay, so I filled out all of the days that I read these pages, and I am going back to add in the box. For this one, I put for a challenge, and I actually had 4 that are gonna work for some of the challenges. And then for this one, this was the funny one. I put took too long, and it's 4 books that took too long. So there you go. Those are my April and May book journal pages, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing them come to life, seeing my book recommendations. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.